They take a seat, the ladies chat with one another across the table, as do the gents. Fred asks Harold, "Are you still going to that memory clinic?" Harold says, "Yes, it's been helping my memory a lot. I recommend you come along to our next session." "What do they do there?" asks Fred. "They teach us to remember things through word association," replies Harold. Fred says, "I might have to give it a try. What's the name of the clinic?" Harold pauses for a while, trying to remember. He says, hang on. What's the name of that beautiful flower, the one that has thorns?" Fred says, "That'd be a rose, Harold." Harold turns to his wife and says, "Rose, what's the name of that clinic I go to?" Some tourists in the Chicago Museum of Natural History are marveling at the dinosaur bones. One of them asks the guard, "Can you tell me how old the dinosaur bones are?" The guard replies, "They are 73 million, 4 years and 6 months old." "That's an awfully exact number," says the tourist. "How do you know their age so precisely?" The guard answers, "Well, the dinosaur bones were 73 million years old when I started working here, and that was 4.5 years ago." One day, an old man went to see a doctor for some health advice. After a thorough checkup, the doctor recommended an unusual remedy. "You need to drink a young woman's milk for your treatment." Determined to get better, the old man went out and, after some effort, managed to convince a woman to help him. As he sat down to drink the milk, the woman, seeing his seriousness, decided to be generous. With a smile, she said, "If you need anything else, just let me know." The old man, thinking for a moment, looked up and said, "Well, some cookies would really go great with this." 3 desperately ill men go to their doctor seeking help. One is an alcoholic, one is a chain smoker, and the other is gay. The doctor tells the men, if you indulge in any of your habits again, you will die. So the 3 men leave, and then the alcoholic sees a bar and hears its loud music and can't resist. He orders a shot of whiskey, drinks it, and suddenly drops dead. The other 2 men walk outside, realizing how serious this is. But then the chain smoker sees a half cigarette on the ground, still burning, so the gay guy says to the chain smoker, "If you bend over to pick that up, we're both dead." Arriving home from work at my usual hour of 5 p.m., I discovered that it had not been one of my wife's better days. Nothing I said or did seemed to be right. By 7 p.m., things had not changed, so I suggested I go outside, pretend I had just gotten home, and start all over again. My wife agreed. I went outside, came back in, and with a big smile announced, "Honey, I'm home." "And just where have you been?" she replied sharply. "It's after 7 o'clock. The place was hopping with music and loud conversation, and every once in a while, the lights would turn off. Each time the lights would go out, the place would erupt into cheers. However, when the revelers saw the nun, the room went dead silent. She walked up to the bartender and asked, "May I please use the restroom?" The bartender replied, "Okay, but I should warn you that there is a statue of a man in there, wearing only a fig leaf." "Well, in that case, I'll just look the other way," said the nun. So the bartender showed the nun to the back of the restaurant. After a few minutes, she came back out, and the whole place stopped just long enough to give the nun a loud round of applause. She went to the bartender and said, "Sir, I don't understand. Why did they applaud for me just because I went to the restroom?" "Well, now they know you're one of us," said the bartender. "Would you like a drink?" "No, thank you, but I still don't understand," said the puzzled nun. "You see," laughed the bartender, "every time someone lifts the fig leaf on that statue, the lights go out. Now, how about that drink?" "Judge, why do you want divorce?" Petitioner, My wife asks me to peel off garlic, cut onions, and wash utensils. Judge, what's the problem in this? Just warm up the garlic, it will be easy to peel it. Before cutting onions, just chill them in the refrigerator, and then while cutting them, the eyes won't burn. Before washing utensils, just immerse them in water tub for 10 minutes. They can be easily washed before washing clothes in surf. Soak them in water for half an hour. All the stains will go away, and even hands won't get tired. Petitioner, understand your honor. Please return my petition. Judge, what have you understood? Petitioner, that your condition is worse than mine. A wealthy old lady decides to go on a photo safari in Africa, taking her poodle along for company. One day, the poodle starts chasing butterflies, and before long, discovers that he's lost. Wandering about, he notices a hungry-looking leopard heading rapidly in his direction. The poodle thinks, oh, noticing some bones on the ground close by, he immediately settles down to chew on the bones with his back to the approaching cat. Just as the leopard is about to leap, the poodle exclaims loudly, "Boy, that was one delicious leopard. I wonder if there are any more around here." Hearing this, the leopard halts his attack in mid-strike. A look of terror comes over him, and he slinks away into the trees. "Whoo," says the leopard. "That was close. That poodle nearly had me." Meanwhile, a monkey who had been watching the whole scene from a nearby tree figures he can put this knowledge to good use and trade it for protection from the leopard. So, off he goes. But the poodle sees him heading after the leopard with great speed and figures that something must be up. The monkey soon catches up with the leopard, spills the beans, and strikes a deal for himself with the leopard. The leopard is furious at being made a fool of and says, "Here, monkey, hop on my back so you can watch me chew that poodle to bits." Now the poodle sees the leopard coming with the monkey on his back and thinks, "What am I going to do now?" But instead of running, the dog sits down with his back to his attackers, pretending he hasn't seen them yet, and waits until they get just close enough to hear. "Where's that damn monkey?" the poodle says. "I sent him off an hour ago to bring me another leopard." "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I have been with a loose girl." The priest asks, "Is that you, little Tommy O'Shaughnessy?" "Yes, Father, it is." "And who is the girl you were with?" "I can't tell you, Father. I don't want to ruin her reputation." "Well, Tommy, I'm sure to find out her name sooner or later, so you may as well tell me now. Was it Patricia Fitzgerald?" "I cannot say." "Was it Lisa O'Shanter?" "I'll never tell." "Was it Kathy Odell?" "I'm sorry, but I cannot name her." "Was it Fiona Mallory?" "My lips are sealed." "Was it Brenda O'Malley, then?" "Please, Father, I cannot tell you." The priest sighs in frustration. "You're very tight-lipped, and I admire that, but you've sinned, and you have to atone. You can no longer be an altar boy until 4 months have passed. Now you go and behave yourself." "Yes, Father." Tommy walks back to his pew, and his friend Sean slides over and whispers, "What'd you get?" Tommy grins. 4 months of vacation and 5 good leads." A professor, a CEO, and a janitor are in a forest when they discover a magic fairy. The fairy says, "I will give you what you most desire if you do someone else's job for a day." The professor says, "I'll be an elementary school teacher. What can be so hard about teaching a bunch of 6-year-olds how to read?" So, he is teleported into a classroom. After a few minutes, all the kids screaming gets to his nerves, so he throws all his supplies and gives up. The CEO says, "I'll be a waiter. All you do is carry food back and forth. This'll be a breeze." So he is teleported to a restaurant. After about an hour, all the annoying customers drive him insane, so he smashes his plates on the ground and gives up. The janitor says, "I'll be an artist." So he is transported to an art facility. He glues all the classroom supplies and shattered plates to a canvas, then sells it for $1 billion. The fairy asks the janitor how he was so clever. The janitor says, "I got a master's degree in art."